So by now you would have all seen the podcast with Michael Hudson, all about Bitcoin, and here we're asking the most asked Instagram questions. So let's get straight into it. Michael, what's the best crypto to buy?
BSV.
What's that?
BSV. Bitcoin SV.
Oh, Bitcoin SV, yeah. Mm-hmm. How do you trade crypto?
Gravity.
Fair enough. When you're getting into crypto, what's the things that you got to look out for?
Proof by social media.
What do you mean by that?
So just because someone has a huge following and has a large mouth, does he know what he's talking about? A high probability in the world of crypto, no.
Oh, okay.
So utility is everything, and pen and paper is everything. So think in terms of pen and paper. Can the world pick up the pen? Yes or no? And that's a good compass to navigate the world of crypto.
Fair enough. What are your thoughts on XRP, and is it worth investing in?
XRP has the biggest parrot army on the planet.
Yeah.
Like all the time, doesn't matter where. XRP. They have the biggest paid parrot army on the internet. And as a project, no one in the crypto space has ever really taken it seriously. It's just the greatest example of proof by social media. Bollocks, dog shit, bullshit, horse shit, cow shit, rat shit.
Oh, well, that's that. I don't know what this means, but you could take it how you take it. Where do you get data from, and how to use it?
So right now, data from our users would be like trading activity, what they're doing, etc. Right now, we're not using it. We're collating it, but we're not using it. What we would like to do is put people's identity and data in a capsule. As another great example of tokenization. So we're going to create a token party here with what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then allow the user to have their data as being a push function. So data traditionally is a pull function.
Yeah.
It's like IV drips in your arm, Google, etc. Everyone's just extracting from you.
Yeah.
With Gravity, what we want to do is encapsulate it, make sure that we obviously do the essential bits, make sure that you are who you say you are, etc. And pair your ID, and then allow it to be a push function.
Yeah.
So let's say some data analysis company comes to us and be like, all right, we want your trading data of your clients, right? And we're willing to pay you X, Y, and Z. Cool, no problem at all. You're going to want me to have those conversations with people. But what I want is the environment. I have those conversations with people. I've got a rate on the data. Then you get a notification. Bid has come in to pay this much for your data. Do you want them to access it? Would you like them to access it? Yes or no? Do you want to sell it? Yes or no? I'll take a rip, right? Because traditionally, all the companies are taking 100% of the rip, right? I'd rather create a more intelligent data set and push that onto the individual choice of the user. And if you say, 50 quid to let you read my trade history, yeah, fuck it, go on. Why not?
Yeah.
You're doing it now already, with most companies out there. Difference is we want to create a capsule and make it a push function, so you decide.
Fair enough. For first-time young investor with little capital, where should I start essentially, and what crypto should I invest into?
Gravity, BSV.
Fair enough. I want to know the opinion on how they think it will pan out and how it will be in the future. Crypto in general.
That's a good question. So the way that's going to pan out is plumbing is important. And when the whole world is trying to flush all at once, which we're not really got to. We've got peaks of mainstream. Right now, I say it's a big peak.
Yeah.
NFTs, huge new peak. And that's going to continue creating new peaks. But it's going to really exacerbate the whole plumbing issue. So that's going to become a bigger conversation. And then that's where companies such as Gravity and other companies within this space, we need to go out there and procure all of that business and bring it all onto effectively this chain where the plumbing's flawless. I just see that being the natural lay of the land over the next few years. And the experience for the end user is going to be seamless. That's the ultimate thing. This space needs to be like, when you're setting up your cameras and you flick the switch to get the light going, you didn't think about Edison. You shouldn't anyway, because it's a fucking fraud, but that's another conversation. But the whole notion of, okay, how did that electricity illuminate? It's not a thing.
Yeah.
That's where we're getting to, and that's what's important.
Fair enough. Is it possible to make money by doing short trades?
Absolutely, yeah.
How do you decide what to buy and when to buy?
I guess at this stage, Elon Musk tweets, right?
Where does it step? No, that's basically the same question. Is Nano going to the moon?
I know very little about Nano.
I don't even know what Nano is. Biggest piece of advice you'd give to an 18-year-old or your younger self, shall I say? Let's put it like that.
Do not undermine your journey of self-mastery. You're on it anyway. So if that's getting drunk every weekend, you're still on your journey of self-mastery. If it is studying and, say, Sadhguru, that's a great utilization of your self-mastery journey. Getting aware of self, understanding that this experience of being human at this state of consciousness is about emotional dexterity, knowing how to control that emotional dexterity and how to recenter yourself ASAP will have you well above any social setting and your peers in anything it is that you're going to do in life, because you understand that you are the divine, experiencing the divine, and you have the power of creation of the divine, meaning law of attraction. It works both ways. Everyone likes to talk about it only when it's positive, but it freaking works both ways. So understand self-mastery and who you are.
I'd agree with that one as well. What's your opinion on the slow movement of Ethereum?
The slow movement of Ethereum?
Yeah.
Like from a price standpoint, Ethereum's jumped up from like $400 to like knocking a door $2,000 in like the last 7 months.
Yeah.
I would say that's a slow move. Ethereum is actually a lot more exciting proposition than Bitcoin, in my opinion, due to the fact of NFTs. It is useful. It's terrible plumbing, but it's useful.
Would you say at a price proposition, obviously, let me ask you the two questions, because one, it would make more sense. Is it worth someone investing into Bitcoin right now as it stands at about 40 grand? Not at all. Yeah. And then following up to that one was, would it be much better off investing your money into Ethereum at, I think it's like 1,300 right now, isn't it?
In GBP, yeah, around about that.
Yeah.
Ethereum has more going for it than Bitcoin does by a long shot, right? And again, this whole NFT stuff is important. So the NFT stuff is making the world look for an Ethereum pen.
Yeah.
Right? Because in order to mint an NFT, you need Ethereum.
Yeah.
That's gas price. Right now, in order to mint one NFT, it'll cost you about $60, which is fucked up, because you're an artist, you now know that you need economies of scale. Economies of scale to water down your fees, which means you're losing rarity, right? So now I'm not going to do a run of 10, I need to do a run of 100 to water down my fee. Investment, right? So in order to sell art for $20, I've got to do way more art pieces. It fucks up my rarity, right? If I want to do one piece of art, it's got to be at least over $60 now, okay? So these things matter massively. And these are the challenges Ethereum's got. However, it's got such a huge community around it that right now that community ain't really aware that I can do that with SV for less than $1, right? So once we start delivering it that way, okay, then this is why I'm saying SV is like ain't a joke.
Yeah.
But right now, the activity is happening on Ethereum, and Ethereum's going to enjoy that party for still quite some time, which is why I see it as just a better proposition. But to be honest with you, any recommendation outside of SV or anything I'm talking on outside of SV is a very volatile, short-term thing. It's not. I don't like to use the word invest. This is a trade thing. So if you're saying, okay, which is a better trade, BTC over Ethereum, I think Ethereum right now.
Do you think there'll be a lot more, this is my own question to be fair, would you say there's a lot more room for growth? Would you see Ethereum going to the price that Bitcoin is currently at? Not at all.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
Anywhere near it?
Nah.
What stocks to buy for 2021? Growth versus value, and are NFTs, and what are NFTs? Okay, we've answered that in the podcast to be fair.
Yeah. To be honest with you, we have this correction event. I would love to get some cheap Tesla after correction.
Yeah.
I'd love to get some cheap Tesla. But really, it's the companies that are going to be involved in the re-emergence of this new data economy.
Yeah.
Right. So companies around microprocessors, big data, AI, companies, those are the kind of things that take my interest. We are on the cusp of incredible technological innovation here on the planet, like different energy solutions that'll be drastically different.
Yeah.
other than that, silver, gold, I'm really bullish on. I really do like silver and gold.
Fair enough. Is it, we kind of answered this in the podcast. Is it true once the founder of Bitcoin is announced, it will drop to zero?
No.
No,
No one cares anymore.
Oh, fair enough. Is it worth, I get this question a lot by friends, family, cousins and all that stuff. So I'm going to actually speak on this. Is it worth investing into Bitcoin if you're not buying a whole coin and you're only investing, let's just say 100 to £1,000 as a 17-year-old has from working in retail, saved up?
Well, 6% on 100 is the same as 6% on a billion.
True. But would you say it's worth it though? Is that a move that you would do?
Yeah, because it's just about, you're making a financial investment. So the 100% is your input.
Yeah.
And you're looking for percentage points on the 100% of your input. It doesn't matter if the bragging rights ain't there to say, I've got a whole pen, right? Chase percentages.
Fair enough. How do you educate yourself in crypto and how to find good investments?
Don't read anyone else's content. No one knows what the fuck they're talking about.
Would you say it's more of a like research for your own self?
100%. But definitely as a navigator, paper pen analogy. It took me 7 years to get to that understanding of like, oh, this is basically just a pen and paper.
Yeah.
I know it sounds mad simple, but I assure you all of the noise in crypto and all the acronyms and the nerdiness, I don't care what they're saying. Basically, they're talking about pen and paper, right? You understand it that way, everything become a lot clearer. And that was because of my own thought process and not letting anyone muddy my thought process. But what I done is, going back to what was talked about really early in the conversation about my dire need to reverse engineer things and break things.
Yeah.
I've done that with Bitcoin. I stripped it back mathematically because there's something that the inventor did say, which is Bitcoin is the first biologically inspired network. Okay, I'm someone that's really into cosmology, mathematics, alternative mathematics. Basically, Tesla talking about secret universe, 3, 6, and 9. It's very much my vibe. So when looking into Bitcoin, I looked at it from a mathematical principle. And when I saw mathematical beauty, I understood what that meant from a technology standpoint and engineering standpoint. And these other systems don't have that mathematical beauty, right? So there's more sophisticated ways to look at this shit. It's like a simple way would be, it'd be really cool to animate it one day, but a really simple way would be, if I gave you 3 donuts, yeah? The perfect donut, right? Perfect shape, the ring, basically gravity logo, right? That's a Taurus, perfect motherfucking donut. And then I gave you one, which is the same ingredients, they're all made from the exact same ingredients, yeah? Right, but one is just jacked the fuck up. It's just like fucking Quasimodo. Yeah. And the other one jacked the fuck up, looks like Quasimodo, right? Which one would you say has order, right?
But it's going to look the same, no?
It's going to be the one that's fucking perfect. And you got the fucking ring shape. You're like, okay, that's mathematical order.
Yeah.
Okay. That's basically what's going on in blockchains, right? Is there's a way of being able to look at them and like, yo, you're jacked the fuck up, right? So there's many different ways, but ultimately it's pen and paper.
Fair enough. How long will this current bull run last in crypto?
Great question. Can't answer it because it's so
volatile.
Yeah. I don't think it's so much, oh yeah, we're breaking through, we're making all these amazing things, which is why we're now reaching these new highs. It's very correlated to world affairs, geopolitical affairs, stimulus, US stimulus.
Yeah.
Very correlated. So it's just part of the whole overall ticking time bomb of the asset bubble that's going on right now. If I can go on, like, say, eBay, 1 minute I'm trying to buy, literally case, I'm trying to buy a Son Goku Ascension card. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah.
Right? These things were like a couple $100 not too long ago. It's like $3,000, $5,000. I see one listed at 10 grand. Right? So it's this whole asset bubble thing. It's just gone bananas. There's risk everywhere. Everything just seems crazy. Like just look at cars like a few years ago, right? But we're at a point, interestingly, where we have a overreach of government power. And as a consequence, and also massive stimulus printing at a time where we have an all-time low in government confidence from the public. right? Historically, it's never been a good recipe. It's what's collapsed empires.
Yeah.
So would Bitcoin be exempt from that collapse? Let's go back to the simple mathematics, right? Does 2 plus 2 equal Jello pudding or not?
No.
Elon's telling us it does. And apparently motherfuckers can take us to Mars. But if we have a collapse of our economic system, Bitcoin is not the savior. A banana would be more valuable in that scenario than Bitcoin because Bitcoin can only process 4 transactions a second. In fact, it can't even tally the collapse of prices because it's only 350,000 transactions a second. It's a fallacy to say the least. Bitcoin SV, on the other hand, very different proposition. It can handle it.
How much is Bitcoin SV?
$200. In fact, $190.
What do you see that going to?
Well, if Bitcoin, the fake pen that doesn't work, is 60K, I say it's going to be Bitcoin SV a great amount of headroom. And I'm patient.
Would you say to invest into Bitcoin SV?
Definitely.
Fair enough. This is a good one. We were speaking about this briefly as well. Are NFT creations only good for artists and big celebs / influence or anyone?
Anyone.
Let's talk about it on both sides of the spectrum in terms of creating the NFT and purchasing the NFT.
The purchasing aspect is really interesting because you have a segmentation of platforms. And this whole plumbing issue becomes an issue because I bought mine on this plumbing, you bought yours on that plumbing, but our plumbing ain't interoperable. So like, fuck, how do we do a trade? Right? So there's a lot of issues that haven't been worked out yet. It's amazingly like compatible with social media followers, social media influencers, celebrities, etc. And also it allows now a new opportunity for an artist to just be able to like create something, and it's all in the eye of the perceiver, right? Amazing art's amazing art, right? You can have artists that make money because of a community. Yeah, cool, great. But like art captivates perception and the values in who it's captivated. For instance, I've got a piece of art, Bitcoin art over there, right? I've never spoken to the artist. I just appreciated that art. And then that artist DM'd me on Instagram about NFTs, like randomly. I've never spoken to the geezer. And he randomly DMs me on Instagram. We never spoken. And like, because of this technology, people are like really, really, really curious and everyone wants to like jump on board. So I think this is just healthy across the board. And it's not just about art as well. It's a logbook for any item. So there's infinite possibility. And it goes back to intent of consciousness, bank balance. I think it's a perfect example and perfect time for people to get them in resonance. Consciousness, bank balance, consciousness, bank balance, consciousness, bank balance. Great time to do that.
Fair enough. Are we heading towards a cashless society?
100%.
100%.
100%. Also, because of stimulus, right?
Yeah.
So if you're creating this whole environment, you're printing money like it's going out of fashion, and you've got overreach government power, all-time low of government confidence. How are you going to prevent mum and pops withdrawing all cash from bank, putting it under the mattress? You need to go cashless. It's all strategic. All strategic.
Should we be expecting a major crypto dip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like you can't sprint up a mountain
and not come down.
Yeah.
It's got to come down.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think a lot of people that are new thought the come down was, I think it was like a week or two ago, where Bitcoin was sitting on 36 and then dropped down to 30 or 29 around that region.
Come down needs to be at least the prior all-time high.
So
20K.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
At least.
How long would it take for BTC to hit 1 million each?
Never.
There's your answer.
Genuinely, I don't see it.
What do you think it would hit realistically?
I think it's got a real good shot at 100K. But I will put the odds at 100. Slightly higher than sub 10K. Slightly. Than sub 10K.
Do you think we will ever get to a point where crypto and Bitcoin will have to become centralized for it to grow?
They are centralized.
I thought they're decentralized.
Fallacy.
Is it?
I can unpack this one as well if you want quickly.
You go on.
Bitcoin could be shut down ultimately in like a day. like 10 minutes, just with a court order,
Yeah.
right? Because all the miners do is they uphold the ledger, right? They validate and they stamp to the ledger. They don't issue coins, right? Their reward for validating and stamping is the coins. Then they need to sell them because they got overheads, and that's how it gets into circulation. Okay. So the miners are the only ones who have influence to the point where it affects the protocol layer. So if you're a developer, you could impose changes. If the miner doesn't agree with those changes and makes it reality, then it is what it is. At this point up until now, there hasn't been much influence in the miner, right? Until government gets really involved and says, okay, this is government property that was stolen on January the 18th, 2017. Okay. We know this was government property that was stolen. Bitcoin, I'm talking about in this case. And we need these funds back. We've traced where all of these funds have gone. We need them back. Here is a court order. Roll back the clock. That can happen on Bitcoin, bro. And it's going to, by the way, one of the lawsuits is potentially, if one is going to invoke this and roll back and move coins. Does that sound decentralized to you?
No.
Because it never was.
But then doesn't that scare you?
No, because
that sounds, to me, oh, bear in mind, I'm not an expert.
security isn't the mining process or this other bullshit that they're telling us. Security is memory.
Well, it sounds like basically they could take all the money. The money that you've invested.
It doesn't
as well,
matter
including
about the money or the tokens. The only thing that matters is the memory of who owned it at what time. Example. Today, you identify as Raheem when you woke up this morning.
Yeah.
If you did not remember yesterday and a time before yesterday, you have no idea who Raheem is today.
Basically, Born Identity. Have you seen this film?
I've seen Born Identity. Yeah. But,
He
okay.
doesn't know who he is.
That is a good example. So the people around him now have the ability to reconstruct who he believes he is moving forward.
Yeah.
This is when agendas, just like in Born, seep in,
Yeah.
right? Memory is the security. That's what Bitcoin is. It is planetary memory. Okay. The ability to, say, address a memory can be actioned through a court order. But you're now updating the collective memory. Cool. Because it's difficult to update the collective memory, but there has to be proper due process. But ultimately, it is memory that provides the security function. And that is what allows you to break through your amnesia, right? We're born with it, and then we piece together our identity. And once we're attached to our identity, we kind of want to keep hold of it, right? And we don't want people fucking around with it and influencing it. You do it yourself. And then think about you as a human being. You are centralized. Everything about how you navigate society is centralized. You run concentric circles. Give an example. You have an outer ring of friends. They know you've got a podcast. They know your likes, your dislikes, if you're a gamer or not a gamer, right? You got your inner circle of friends, okay? Now they know your relationship woes, your feelings, your emotions, maybe a little bit about your family life, your history, your upbringing,
Yeah.
right? And then you got your family. Now, these rings are getting closer, right? And you got your family. Now, these people are helping you wipe your ass, right? Yeah. You share with them more intimately, more openly, right? And then you get to you being source, like the dot in the middle of this concentric circle system.
Yeah.
Society is a concentric circle model, right? So with this, what I'm saying to you, everything in this is connected. This is Bitcoin, by the way. Everything in this is connected, right? All I'm saying to you is you can pull up a chair next to it. That's distributed. It's not decentralized. And you want it to be centralized because that means all the intelligence is accessible through the API link. Where I said Google, Siri, Amazon, yeah? You want it all in one place so I can query it. You want centralization. You don't want fucking decentralization. That means fragmented intelligence. What I want is centralization with honesty, verifiable honesty, integrity, right? That I know that if you do business with me, okay, you're doing business with me because what I say should be matched by my company's actions. And if it doesn't and it's out of resonance, then fuck me, man, don't do business with me, right? But if I'm saying, okay, with Gravity, once we release our features, you can have £10,000 here and know that it's actually here. You verify, okay? That's what brings this new experience, and the trust aspect is no longer a problem. It's not because of decentralization, it's because of distribution.
Fair enough. I think that's pretty much the questions anyway, but I think we need to create a CEOCAST NFT or something like that.
You do, bro. Once you work that out, you want to do it, you want to mint it, you come here and we'll help you do it.
I wouldn't even know what to do or where to start, to be honest.
That part's on you, bro. That's the creativity part. That's on you. That's on you.
Fair enough.